let's talk about Banners and Bastions. Let me get
Man,
this
let's
image
do
up
it.
here.
I got to tell you that game has been consuming my existence for the last few days. As I mentioned in the write up yesterday, Ian, we've talked about this before. Those style of games, the strategy type games, are not usually my cup of tea. I'm not a big RTS or tower defense fan. I'm more of a run and gun, get me in a cockpit, kind of gamer. But something about what Not Suspicious has created here has like just warped my mind. It's such a simple concept and it's so snackable and just playable that even a person like me who's not into that genre, I couldn't put it down. And I kind of ended the write up with the truth. I killed an entire battery in my headset playing this game, and it wasn't just because I was sitting there recording. It's just I couldn't stop. I just kept wanting to go and wanting to go to the next battle, and like see what new little spell I was going to get or what new card I was going to pull to get a new troop type. So it was just fantastic. See, we got
Yeah,
the progression system here. That's before I had. I'm actually about halfway through most of these now. I'm starting to build up. So
nothing more
but
satisfying than building out those
filling in
progressions in a
dots.
strategy game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
filling in dots, man, and and it's satisfying too. I love dropping the fireballs here. The scorched earth is just fantastic. I mean, every time you think you're out of units and you go, oh wait, no, I've still got a spell, and you just like boom, and you just drop it and just obliterate the entire sector of the map. So it's just fantastic. Not Suspicious. I mean, you have really opened my eyes over your last two, releases with Airspace Defender and Banners. I'm loving the dome world aspect. I'm loving the how clean it is in mixed reality, and again, as I mentioned, how snackable. I can drop in, I can drop out. I mean, we need more games like that.
I hope someone from Apple is watching at some point or listening to this podcast. We'll repeat this on multiple issues just to try to catch them when they intersect us. But games like this seem like a match made in heaven. I think when we talked to Not Suspicious Raphael in the past, like they're so carefully picking their constraints
Yes.
for, I don't know, you don't need to take over a person's entire space to give them a good
it's
time.
very deliberate what he's doing there, and I think it's great. I mean, because you don't. I mean, this type of game. What I loved is that I could, and I love the fact that you can just drag the board around as well. So I'm sitting at my desk, and I've got it right here on my desktop. Okay. Then, I've got a little couch over here in my studio. I want to go get more comfortable. I really want to get into this battle. I just grab the board, just move it over to my couch, just place it exactly where I want it, kind of in my lap, and boom, there I am. I'm back to it. Kind of in between rounds. Speaking of that, I loved also, I'm a huge turn-based fan. Obviously the tower defense genre, these types of things are going to be a little more turn-based. And I loved that. I loved how it gave me the ability to set up the board, get everything ready, and then just hit go, and then kind of watch it all go down and then manipulate it as it was happening. So more turn-based, please. Love turn-based. But I also want this actually really opened my eyes. I just saw Not Suspicious here. He says, I was skeptical when Apple went all in on no controllers and volumes, but Airspace Defender and Banners and Bastions have changed my mind. And, I was also a pre-release of the Apple Vision Pro, I was a pretty vocal critic online about them not bringing controllers. But as I have experienced more high quality hand tracked experiences in mixed reality on Quest, my tune is changing on that a little bit. There are now some games such as Banners and Bastions, Airspace Defender, a couple of other mixed reality games in that genre that I couldn't imagine playing with a controller. So
couldn't imagine playing with the controller, and amazing how quick that flip was. And yeah, I'm so appreciative of you reading out that comment from Not Suspicious, because I think it's an important one.
Absolutely.
That there's so many little things here. How do you tell the user where the edges of the usable volume are?
Yeah.
How do you tell the user where the pinches are actually starting to be recognized by the game? This is something he's had to do with his app, right? He's signaling that to you.
Yes, and it works beautifully.
Yeah, so think about that market that we're talking about here. I've got one dev on one half of this show that is all in on a multi-year project that's based around controllers. And I've got another dev in my comments here saying they were skeptical when Apple went all in on no controllers and volumes, and volumes being almost the exact opposite of a content type, as something that's fully immersive being something that's just bounded within this small little itty bitty space right in front of you. And that's the market that Android XR and Horizon OS are reforming around as we speak, right? So hard for devs to find a market in that reality changing all around them.
I gotta say, I love this comment from Arlen as well, which I love most of Arlen's comments. Arlen, nice to see you. Bless you, my son. Yeah, it says XR needs more games like what you've made, addressing Not Suspicious, I'm assuming. MR games are much easier point of entry for people that are new to XR. Full VR is high hill, but I agree. I mean, XR is, again, snackable. It's something I can put in front of you. You're not disconnected from the world. I mean, it's, you're in your own space.
To be clear, on these games, Banners and Bastions and Airspace Defender are both Quest games.
Yes.
You can go buy them from the Quest store right now. It's just the model that this dev has chosen is very similar to the model that Apple has used for its platform. And I think Not Suspicious is on the record with us in the past as explaining like they wanted to explore the space of working within constraints. And here's the second project. I recommend going and looking at our view into Tablecraft and Airspace Defender together. That was one of our best streams that we've done.
It really was.
We knock out this and we have Dawn in VR. It's fantastic. I've given Tablecraft demos to thousands of folks over the years, from 5-year-olds to 80-year-old venture capitalists. They always struggle with VR onboarding, and MR, even mom can play.
Yeah,
it goes.
That's powerful.
And
I love
that's
that.
the research. That's the research that like Andrew Bosworth, I think, has hinted at Meta having. That it's just more acceptable when you begin with the environment. It's just a slower thing, and so what you end up having, this is the reality of almost the market across across the space, is you're going to have a whole bunch of cool things to interact with when you put on your headset before you actually ever get to a virtual world. Before you go immersive VR and give a world all of your vision, you're going to mess around with things at dollhouse scale. You're going to have toys, tools, 3D models floating around you. And these are great games that are exploring that space. We can't wait to see what you do.
Now, what I wanted to bring up real quick, because we were talking about alternative places that say, Not Suspicious could put his software onto, something with a volume, something that would be easily like right here. XR glasses. And I know I preach them. I know David is starting to kind of come around on them because they're starting to become more usable. Okay. With this latest generation of XR glasses, with the X-Real 1 Pro, which I have, and the eye camera, which I also have, I now have 6 DOF. And I have about a 52-degree field of view. In October, we're going to start seeing glasses like the Vitcher Beast. And that is going to be the first XR glasses, be birdbath or not, with a 70-degree field of view. Okay, and 6 DOF tracking. So when we get to something like that, I could easily see mixed reality experiences such as Airspace Defender, Banners and Bastions, something that does that smaller volume that floats right in front of me, being a perfect fit for that technology.
Arlen says they've got pages of ideas for their Dream XR Space Combat board game yet. And Not Suspicious saying there's so much potential in tabletop MR. Humanity's been designing and playing tabletop games in real life for thousands of years. It's the oldest form of gaming. I love it, and it's absolutely accurate, right? It's just what's the best way to pass the time? And